Wallet, cell phone, keys. There are a few things I wouldn't leave home without. They're my modern-day survival kit. But in Fiji 200 years ago, things were very different. These are some of the things they wouldn't be caught dead without. In the 1800s, Fiji was a place of murders, raids and wars, so men didn't dare move about unarmed. Even within the village, they needed weapons like these at their side. If working in their vegetable garden, they would have a spear stuck into the ground or a club close by.
A lot of the prestige that a weapon has relates to who owned it or how many people were killed by a particular weapon, where it comes from. It's like any object, its history will make it valuable or significant to different people in different ways. For example, weapons that are well decorated or particularly well looked after or have a very strong patina or look like they've been handled for a long time could be very important because of their age and their associations.
What happened when a warrior killed someone with a war club? How were they treated?
Sometimes warriors could be celebrated or honoured in an event that would last over several days. One account from the 19th century talks about warriors having to hold a club over their shoulder for 4 days straight. But as part of these ceremonies, weapons as well as their owners could gain status and prestige and enhance their reputations. There's plenty of good stories about these weapons. This one, for example, is a iula, which is a throwing club, and it's made from the bottom part of a tree. You can see here all the little notches where the roots would have been, and it's been fashioned into an object with a great handle. And these would have been perhaps thrown like that or thrown like that, we're not exactly sure, but these were like the pistols that young men would carry around in their belts, except they were throwing clubs, iula.
What about this weapon here? It kind of looks like a beak.
It's funny you should say that because it is the totokia, this weapon, and it does represent the beak of a bird, and it's used in a pecking motion. So this part here, this bulbous bit, could be quite huge. Some examples of these particular clubs, the bulbous bit could be way out here. Now when you use this club, the sheer weight of the end would push the beak through the skull.
What about this big, looks like a slicing weapon?
Yes, this one here is very heavy and it's a bit of a slasher, I guess. You can imagine that going through somebody's arm or their leg or even across their ribs. It could do a lot of damage. And it's quite heavy, made from quite solid wood. Fijian clubs have great patterns and designs, same as clubs made in Tonga. And this one here is cross-hatched, so you can sort of see that in the right light.
Despite their bloody past, these weapons have an important future in Te Papa's Pacific collection. They carry stories of life in 19th century Fiji, when warfare was part of the everyday. Times when life and death could be measured by what was slung over your shoulder.